Okay, been thinking about this, doing a little more studying on it. The problem is in this initial arch. So I think what I want to do is probably pull this fender off, slit right behind this edge, right here, and maybe even a couple inches down and then 2 inches below that. Get myself a space where I can start to push that in and close up the top one, open up these two a bit, and get it to pull in a little. I might have to clamp it, pull it in a little bit with that, then tack it. I think that's the right way to go about this. Everything else is pretty close, and I'll loosen up the bottom before I do that so that it has some place to go while I'm doing all this pulling and twisting. I think I probably can add a couple, maybe another shim, 1/8 of an inch on each side here on the bottom, just to get that down a little further. But this side, you know, the problem resides from here to here. So slitting up here should allow me to start to push in, and then slitting here and here will allow the convex surface to go down a little bit, and then I'll have to tack it all back up. But I think that will do it. May need to push up a little bit here with the porter power or something. Just giving it a little bit of force that way before I weld it back up. Don't know yet. But I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to explore. I really hate to move this nose at this point because it is fitting so good. But I'm going to look real quick and see if there's an opportunity to move the whole nose back 1/16 just to help me a little bit with this gap. I'll get there. I'm not worried about this. I mean, I've got, it's about 1/4 inch right here. Well, let's measure it. Pull one of my little handy measuring tools. This is 1/4 inch, and that's pretty wide. So there's 1/4 inch here, closer to 3/8 down here. So I've got quite a bit to close up here. It gets super tight right here, but maybe that just needs to be reworked. I think it all needs to be reworked. But anyway, that's probably where I'm gonna start. Is I'm gonna explore moving that fender back a 1/16. Just give me a little bit of the 1/4 inch that I pulled it forward. A lot of that's gonna come down to that cowl grill, and can it go back, a 1/16 comfortably without bottoming out the screws, because I like the gap right now between the hood and the cowl grill. So I'm gonna start there. If there's an opportunity to move that back that 1/16 of an inch, which is, I believe, this guy, yep. If I could come back that much, and it doesn't seem like a lot in the grand scheme of things, but maybe it's not worth it. I don't know. Maybe it's better to just leave that all where it's at, because I know I got a good fit on my hood and all that, and just start working this fender individually. The other thing I'm going to do is I got one comment from a gentleman who said early on that said he was having a problem with his fenders bulging out because of the way the inner fender was attached to it. So might be I could loosen up the inner fender first, just get it all completely loose, and just see if that changes this profile at all. I have a super hard time believing that this arch right here has anything to do with it being mounted down here or inside that fender. I am not buying it. But could be, stranger things have happened, but there's a fairly heavy brace right behind here that I believe is the culprit. It's just when they formed this fender, it was actually formed pretty well. It's just when they put it on that brace, it looks like the top was sucked over too much or something. That, if anything, I think the brace was the problem, because the fender, when you look at all the body lines and how everything lines up, I'm really good. I just got to figure out how to push this in. And another gentleman was very helpful. Also mentioned, you got to be careful. You don't want to push these doors out too far. You got to make sure this all is in the right location relative to everything. But if you push them out too far, you're not going to get that seal the seal inside won't seal up. The door seal won't close properly and give you a weather-tight seal. So, you know, I'm pretty comfortable with where the door is right now, in and out, because I'm also comfortable with this point in and out. It's this from here to here that's kind of boned. So anyway, I'm gonna have a look around. I'm gonna keep noodling on this for a few minutes. I just want to think this through before I do anything dumb. And I'm also gonna swing over and check the other side just to make sure I don't have anything really goofy over there. I got updates. I half expected this side to do the same thing. This side fits almost perfect. The door is just slightly different. The fender is, if anything, flattened out more, but the top doesn't have that big bulge in it. So I believe I can just adjust this one and get it to come in. So I'm floored. I kind of expected the problem to be the same on both sides, but it's not. So I've got to, you know, futz around with this a little bit, try to figure out what's happening over here too, I guess. Yeah, I expected to have the same problem here. It's not here. This one fits pretty damn nice. Okay, something interesting. So I unhooked the bottom and let that flop out a little bit. Once I did that, the top got better by a lot. So that really tells me that the issue is in this brace right in this area. Because if I could relieve this to come down a little bit more, as that pulled in, everything would come right into it. Juby did drop a thing the other night on his show when he was talking about the nose pieces and what he knew about them. And he was always saying that there was some issues here where this doesn't flare out right on the Camaros. Well, it's kind of interesting because this is the Firebird one, obviously, and it does the same exact thing, which kind of tells me it might not be the problem with the skin as much as it is the problem with the brace, because that would be the same brace for the Firebird or the Camaro. So got some work to do. I did move this nose back almost an eighth. So I closed up my gaps quite a bit. Much more workable now. Everything still fits fine. I think what I'm going to do next is I got to pop that hood off. I got to take the hood off so I can deal with this fender. I got to pull this fender right off, slit that brace, because I don't dare do it in the car. I think if I do that, I'm just asking for trouble. The other thing that's interesting about this one is the bolt under here. I have to pry up on this point to get this bolt tightened up so that this is at the right height. If I don't pry up on that, and basically what I'm doing is trying to flex that brace like this, right? And as soon as I do that, I think that's driving more bulge into it too. So it is this whole area up here that's causing this problem. But I think I can fix it with just a couple of slits in this brace behind here. Pull this off, slit that, put it back on, get it up into position where it needs to be, then tack it together on the car, and then pull it back off and re-weld it. I think that's about it. That's about all I can do at this point. I'm going to give it a go. All right, couple things. Got it all off. One thing I did notice, when I loosened up the inner fender, this whole attitude changed in here a little bit. So it was putting bind on it, specifically in these two holes with the giant washers. So I opened those up a little bit, get those, might even go a little more so they're closer to that type hole. But interesting. right here where I think I need to slit it, there's a cut in that, and it looks like it's part of the bend process. Not very nice. And if I don't miss my guess, I would say that would be a pretty easy point to not have it cut enough or the bend not be right. So just the way they nick that when they stamp this thing is very interesting to me. But bottom line is, I'm gonna grind this, clean the paint off it, cut it along my yellow line there. Same thing here. This was the part that I needed to trim off before because this bit of slag here is too tall. I also opened up these holes just a little bit, not much. But yeah, I think given what I see now, slitting that right there will probably take care of the problem. I'm gonna flip this over and put the template on it in its relaxed state, see what it looks like. But that's where I'm at. All right, there we go. Watch this. It just accordions right there now, so I can do whatever I want. That's gonna work out really good, I think. So I'm just gonna grind this up so I can tack it easily from inside the car in these key locations, and then get it on there, get it in the right position, tack up the arch, get it where it needs to be, and go from there. But I'm pretty convinced that whatever they were doing here to crush this in was just a little too feeble. So I think it'll work better now. So yeah, let's get it done. Wow, that's spooky. I put that fender back up there, and it just wants to be where it's supposed to be now. So I'm gonna put the template on it in a minute, but I tell you right now, that is so close. I mean, I'm gonna work it, pull it in, probably pull this door off again, and then tack up all those cuts. But that is so much better. Unbelievable. It's like just relieving that brace made it head right down the right path. Crazy. But yeah. So I chose wisely, apparently. Looks good. All right, I'm gonna get in there and tack that up, check it with the template, make sure I got everything where I want it. Probably throw the shims and the screws back on the bottom, make sure I don't pull it out of shape. And then, yeah, tack it up. Not bad. Not bad at all. That body line still seems pretty close. I mean, I might be off a 16th, but I probably could still, and even this looks better now. That pulled in where it was supposed to be. That's crazy. I didn't expect that. I did get rid of that erroneous lip that was under here. Maybe that caused this part to relax too. Don't know. But totally workable now. Crazy different. All right, I'm gonna sum this up and start working the other side, I guess. Check this out. I mean, that is stunning. Stunning. Unbelievably different. And even this up here came right into it. I mean, I've got to curl this a little bit more, but oh my God, unbelievable. Just those 3 little slits that I put in behind here, 1, 2, 3, and I'm gonna tack them back together now. All the other inner fender well bolts are all tight. Everything else drew right in. I watched it as I did it. Just made sure nothing changed right here. Extremely happy with that. That is crazy different. Crazy. Yeah, I'll take that. That is looking good. It's hard to get with the camera, but very happy with that. Everything, I welded it up, put the door back on. Everything now is within reason, you know, little body hammer here and there, and that'll be totally workable. So now I'm going to move on to the other side. I can see right away the front of that door is low. So I'm gonna boost that up, get that adjusted a little better, and start from there. Okay, so this side is much closer. Pretty good with the profile. That all is gonna fit very good. The only problem I got is my fender, I believe, needs to come down a little bit, and the door needs to go up a little bit. Fender's bottomed out on the bolt through here, so I got to pull the door off, and the door is bottomed out on the screws going up, so I've got to remove the bottoms, just make some more clearance there, and I think we'll be good. Then I should be able to just adjust all this and pull it in. I'm off a little over 1/8 probably, but not crazy. So anyway, that's what I'm going to do. Shouldn't have to pull the fender off this side, so that's good. Just going to whip the door off it, make some adjustments. My back door gap is now very reasonable. It's a little wide in the middle, but everything is workable from here. So that's good. Yeah, that should be what I need to deal with. So let's see what we get. Yeah, so basically I've just got to, you can see that hole in there. I've got to open up the hole in the fender, which is that first layer, because the nut in the back is bottomed right out. So that's what I'm going to do next. I'm going to open that up to start with. Then I'll adjust the holes on the door so I can get about 1/8 of an inch on each side. That'll give me everything I need.